Okay, well, let's get right into it. You guys, now you've heard his credentials, you've heard his background. Now for our burning questions. We want to know, we all kind of know because we search Google, and a lot of us have Google PhDs, myself included. But how does CBD interact with the endocannabinoid system, or the E.C.S, as we call it?
Um, well, there's a lot of misinformation that you can find out there Googling about the E.C.S and a lot of bad marketing out there about the E.C.S. The E.C.S consists of the natural endocannabinoids and two protein receptors, Cb1 and Cb2. Cannabidiol can bind those receptors. It doesn't like to, and it rarely does, but when it does, it actually stops those receptors from activating. What it is more likely to do is that, very similar to our serotonin systems, there are mechanisms to remove the endocannabinoids from circulation and from the neurons and package them away so that they can be used when they're needed again. CBD inhibits some of those mechanisms that reuptake it, so it allows a persistence of our natural endocannabinoid system. So it's either a foot on the brake or it keeps us at the same speed, kind of cruise control for the E.C.S.
That's interesting. So what I've always told people is we've got receptors all throughout our body, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, because I've only learned what I've learned, and you're the master of all the information here. So correct me if I'm wrong, but CB1 receptors are mostly activated by THC. Is that true or false?
That is correct.
Okay. CB2 is mostly activated by CBD and other cannabinoids.
The other endocannabinoids, it's not activated by CBD. Actually, there's a recent study that showed when CBD binds it, it actually slows down the other signaling that may be happening via CBD, that is CB2, that's going on in the cell. So it's actually doesn't really activate, it blocks.
Interesting.
It's like putting a key in a lock that isn't quite the right key. It won't turn and open the lock. That's what happens when CBD binds CB2.
How long have we known about this, the E.C.S? Because it's only been in our conversation for the last, couple of years.
The talk about the E.C.S, Meckelin first discovered THC and CBD in 1973, published some papers and studies there. Then the discovery of the E.C.S came out of trying to figure out why THC produced the effects it does. And Cb1 and Cb2 were discovered shortly afterwards. Just how far the reach of the E.C.S is in our body outside of the brain, that's been in the last 15 years that it's really been done. And it hasn't been paid a lot of attention scientifically because the majority of the research has been happening outside of the US because of cannabis prohibition. And that has really slowed down the ability to do CBD research in the United States.
Right. And that's a whole nother topic, and we can get into that. That's a really fun topic as well.